All right, so Keith Lee recently went viral because of his critiques of the Atlanta restaurant scene. That's pretty much a good way to say it, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
yeah. So Keith Lee is huge. He has what 12 million followers on TikTok, something like that.
Something wild.
And he's just very big on the social in the social media space, particularly on TikTok, because he goes around to different places and he takes in the dining experience in those respective places, and then he sort of gives his review on them. And he recently gave his thoughts on that experience eating in Atlanta. And so it's, sparked a lot of conversation. A lot of people are talking about it. And so let's see if I can find this clip here. So this is just a brief excerpt from, reporting on Keith Lee's recent um, critique of his experience dining in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Service was interesting. While the people were nice, the rules they had set were very unique to me. We initially tried to do takeout, but when we came in, they said we couldn't sit down, and there was no space at the bar for us to stand. So we had to stand outside to order our food, and then we decided we just gonna dine in. But two people in our party stepped out for a second, because again, we fresh off the plane, so everybody's trying to get situated. The waitress, again, she was nice, but she told us she couldn't take any orders or she couldn't do anything until everybody sat down. No water, no coffee, no drink orders, no nothing.
Popular TikToker Keith Lee causing a lot of conversation on social media about Atlanta's food scene after he visited a couple of different restaurants over the weekend. Lee, who has more than 14 million followers, is known for his honest
14
reviews
million.
and also for his good deeds. He talked about how some of the rules at Atlanta's establishments made it hard for him to even get food to review. So now people all over social media, they have responded about how they have also had some similar issues in the A at some of these popular spots, right? Some restaurants did get high marks from Keith Lee, and as a result, they are seeing what's called the Keith Lee effect with a lot of customers. He talked about his positive experiences at the Juicy Jerk in Stone Mountain, the dining experience in Fairburn, and also the Bodega in College Park.
All right, and so there are also follow ups to that video as well, where it showed the impact on some of those restaurants. They show the impact of his presence at some of those restaurants where he gave a good review, and how those places have lines wrapped around the building. So it goes both ways, right? So the negative critiques can work against you. The positive critiques can certainly work in your favor, but it certainly caused a bit of an ongoing conversation with respect to restaurant quality, food, service, and all of that sorts of and all of those types of ideas, specifically with respect to what it's like to do that in Atlanta. But yeah, this got social media ablaze talking about eating in Atlanta and just the restaurant dining experience in general. But what did you think about this situation?
Yeah, man. I've never even heard of bro until like 3 days ago or 4 days ago. So I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was every other video. I mean, it was just giving it to me. So it was just like, hey man, more Keith Lee, more Keith Lee. I was like, I guess. I guess. And so I'm looking at this stuff, and one of the first restaurants he went to, yeah, he had a bad experience. He had a bad experience, and so, and the thing is that these are a lot of black-owned restaurants, so he went there trying to do his thing, and from what I recognize from him, he does seem to be authentic with his reviews. Not everything's amazing, you know. So he actually critiques it with good descriptions of the words that you understand. So he describes it pretty good, and you go, "Yeah, I can dig that texture. Yeah, a good description." He does that stuff. And nowadays, people just love watching people eat. I don't know what that's all about. But so he's doing a lot of things right now, and so yeah, his effect goes both ways, man. And you know, he can, by calling you out, because the whole thing is he just goes in there incognito. He have his people order the stuff, so while they ordering it, they don't know it's for him, because if they know it's for him, they're gonna bring their best. So he just try to catch them on their normal. And if that's you slipping, that's on you. And you're gonna catch that review. And the thing is, when he went to Atlanta, is apparently there's so many rules and all this other stuff that goes on with these restaurants. Uh, and he got caught in some of those whirlwinds, and he walked away with no food. And the whole thing is, hey, bro, if bro walked away with no food, y'all messed up. And if he say, hey man, I tried it, I liked it, and then everybody's gonna go, for his stuff. So he's very powerful. The streets are behind him 100 million% at this point, man. So yeah, there's detractors out there, but honestly, I just think that those are people that's really tied to the service industry and feel like what he's doing is too volatile for people who are putting their whole lives on the line, kind of thing, with these places. But I'll tell you right now, and I'll let you go. The elitist air in Atlanta is a real thing. There's a real status competition going on out there. It's kind of like extended high school. It's like a whole city's a high school, trying to be popular, trying to be on. Yeah, I own this, on that stuff, treating it like housewives and, real husbands of whatever. Like these people they really trying to be Hollywood out there. And so with that, there comes with these, weird types of status situations, holding lines for no reason, stuff like that. And, one of his big gripes is, hey man, you making other people wait, but as soon as y'all hear it's me, y'all got a table magically. So that's automatic. He's not getting your food. And so if you do the whole, hey, status over common person, people got to wait for an hour and a half to get their food. It's trash, especially when black people are really trying to support each other. Because you go to any other establishment, you're in and out and whatever. And if it is a wait, it's an understandable wait, So hopefully these restaurants get their act together. I'm here for it. I enjoy it. I'm all about having accountability in the community. And he's an agent of instilling that accountability, at least in the restaurant department. So I'm digging what he's doing, and I've seen the effect, the positive side, and yeah, those people are eating, no pun intended. So how about you, man? How do you feel about this whole situation, man? It's a lot of layers to it, but how do you feel about the Keith Lee in Atlanta?
Does he only go to black-owned businesses?
I got to look into that, but I think from what I be seeing, yeah, he be going, but I think he go to the other places, but he tries to do black businesses. I think that's like an emphasis for him though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked in a restaurant for over 10 years. So I have firsthand experience for how difficult it can be to be successful in that environment, and how it really does depend on you cultivating a dedicated customer base that can sustain you during difficult times when uh, you're not able to benefit from an economic surplus. And I would say that this is one of those times where the service industry is unable to benefit from a surplus. And so, in order to thrive, it is important for you to be able to treat your people right so that they continue to come back and you can lock in their continued business over time.
Mm-hmm.
And if what he is doing creates lanes which allow for those restaurants to cultivate that dedicated fan base, then I have no problems with what he is doing. I also don't have any problems with him if he critiques these places for bad service, whether you're black owned or not, because
Mm-hmm.
people need to understand that you can't just run roughshod on customers. You got to do right by people. And there's far too many of these restaurants and these institutions within the service industry that don't care. Because they are just you alluded to it before, they feel as though because of who they are, um and what their like label is, I guess, or their what their what's the word I'm looking for, like the ideology behind who they are substantiates them being able to just treat people however they feel like it. But I
Mm-hmm.
actually have a theory on why this has become the case when it comes to service in general. Of course, it's purely anecdotal, so I don't have any data to back this up. It's just based on my observation, especially given the fact that I did work in a restaurant for so long. But one thing that the pandemic showed people that there are different ways to make money. What that was one of the different that was one of the things that kind of came as a result of the CV is it showed people if I want a second job or if I want to make extra money on the side, I don't have to go and work in the service industry anymore. I don't have to go work a register. I don't have to go work in a department store. I don't have to serve tables. I don't have to bus tables. I don't have to go wash dishes. I don't have to go serve drinks. I don't have to do any of that anymore. I can just become a social media influencer, or I can start an OnlyFans, or I can, do Uber Eats, or it created all of these different micro economies. And what happened as a result of microeconomies is it fundamentally shifted the viability of brick and mortar staples in the service industry to be able to depend on providing reliable service. Because if you think about it, the more people you have out here who say, I don't need to go serve tables in order to make ends meet, that's less people that are going to come into your establishment applying for jobs. That's less help. That's less labor you have at your disposal. That's more of a crunch on you to be able to run your ship successfully because there's less help to go around. So the help that you have to stretch that help thin because you don't have a whole bunch of people walking through your door filling out applications because people ain't on this hard work no more.
Were they not?
People ain't on. We are in a post hard work society. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna break the news to you straight up. We are literally in a post hard work society. People don't want to work hard. People want to make more money by doing less. I said last week when we talked about that Target run video, that is an example. That perfect to me. That perfectly exemplifies the era that we are living in which people want to be paid to do nothing. People want to be paid as much as possible to do as little as possible. And you are not going to be doing as little as possible serving tables in restaurants. So these places are in need of help. I don't know when's the last time that you drove by a restaurant, but I can't drive by a single restaurant without seeing a now hiring sign, help wanted, everybody hiring. We are in the opposite of a hiring freeze when it comes to restaurants. That's for damn sure. So these places are hurting. They need the labor, they don't have it. And so when you are stretching your workforce thin and you don't have the people on hand to help, you don't have a hostess, or the hostess that you do have is working a double shift because ain't nobody coming through that door applying to be a hostess no more. Same thing with the servers, same thing with the people bussing tables, same thing with the people, serving drinks. The service industry has fundamentally changed in the aftermath of this CV situation. So it has shown itself through quality of service, in my opinion. That's kind of my big grandstanding view on this whole thing. And why you have people like Keith Lee who might be out here giving these negative reviews of these restaurants, even if they're black owned. Hey man, it is what it is. The service industry needs to figure out creative ways to get people back in the door. The easiest and most obvious answer is you need to pay these people. Stop nickel and diming people. Y'all want people to break their back, in some cases literally, for $12, $13 an hour. In this economy, that is no money. You're not you can't pay people nickels and dimes and expect them to do all this hard ass work. And the restaurant business is hard work. I know, I did it for 10 years. Slicing my fingers up, cutting myself, burning myself, going through shoes, long nights. I get home at the end of the day, I can't even stand because my back hurts so much. I've been standing all day making this food for these people. So, the service industry needs a facelift. They need to do better. Even if you are a small business and you don't employ very many people, you're a mom and pop, because some of those places that he went to in the ATL kind of look mom and popish. So I get you don't necessarily have the infrastructure and the resources to do what larger businesses and companies and restaurants can do. But there are things that you can do within your purview to provide better service. But it's hard to make that happen when the industry that you are trying to become successful in is in this weird state of limbo where you don't have the resources and the manpower available to provide that quality of service. So, in lieu of being unable to do so, you institute goofy rules like we can't sit your party until everybody's here, or just holding up lines and making people wait for no reason, like it's a popular nightclub.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I get it because ain't nobody trying to work in service anymore. Ain't nobody trying to do this stuff. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know one thing. Based on this, the next time that I'm in Atlanta, I'm probably not gonna be eating out. Just because I don't like being bothered with inconvenience. Like I don't care how cool and fancy and good your food is. I don't like being inconvenienced. I'm impatient. I don't like waiting in long lines. I will spend money for convenience. So if you want to tell me that a dinner is $100 plate, I will pay that. But I'm not paying $100 plate and you're making me wait. If I'm
Yeah.
paying $100 plate, I'm sitting down immediately. So I don't know what they got going on in Atlanta. Down here in South Florida, it has not quite gotten that bad yet, although it is bad in certain places depending on where you go.
Mhm.
But it's not as widespread as it seems to be based on what I've seen here with this situation. But I just think, moreover, the service industry is in a weird state of flux. And I don't know what it's going to do to be able to rebound from it. But so far, it has not done a good job of doing so.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that angle. Yeah, but I did kind of think of it in the sense of, these smaller operations, as you mentioned, like, you know, they, they making these rules and stuff. Like, I get it, close early on Wednesdays. It's like, okay, close, from Sunday to Tuesday. It's like, I don't know what that's about, but that type of stuff. But like you said, if there's no people to work it, if there's no, they're gonna
Yeah.
have these arbitrary hours and all this other goofy stuff. So so there's reasons for that, and I also just think it's a thing of, for whatever reason with our people, there's this level of comfort that I can disappoint you, and it's and that's the part I don't like.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I'm already, and that's sad, man. That's whenever I do go to black owned establishments, I have to come in with this understanding, to be understanding of their operation. And I'm always extremely grateful when my experience is consistent, and the service is good. And I support those. But then there's other ones where it's like, hey, I'm trying to support you right now.
Yeah.
Who's this lady? She don't know what she's doing. She don't know the prices or nothing. What are we doing right now? Is she even cooking food? What's happening? So there's some places that I can't go no more because I'm wasting my money with y'all. My last two to three times is like, well, I don't know what's going on, but y'all ain't hitting. So I'm not just gonna throw my money away, So and nowadays, yeah, people money is tighter. So when we do try to show up and represent and support our people, man, yeah, these long waits and all this other stuff, man, like it's got to tighten up. And because these same people that's creating these rules for black people, if they went into a white establishment and they told you, oh, we can't serve you until all your people here, those people would have been pissed off. They would have been hollering racism and all this other stuff. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no. And so just treat the people how you would want to be treated if you had went to anybody else's establishment. And I think that's the code and standard that Atlanta learned. Because TikTok was on fire. Every other video, man, restaurant owners to regular everyday people, this has been a cry for them out there. And so for him to come out there and lay hands on the city the way that he did, I feel as though it did shine a good light, and it is hopefully it's going to create a culture of better service up there. And but yeah, man, this is very interesting. I didn't know of this man. All these people. I didn't know how big his ramifications can be, but dude seems pretty chill, seems pretty cool, and I won't be watching all the time, but I wouldn't mind popping in every now and then to see what he's talking about in whatever city. because he seems like a chill dude, and a lot of people, is digging what he's doing. And I really love seeing the one where the good people that he gave reviews to, where there was just so many people. Like I like that. I love that actually. So
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. And I'm happy for the man. But yeah, Atlanta, tighten up.
Yeah, they do need. Yeah, they do need to. They do need to tighten up. But yeah, bro got 14 million TikTok followers. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I had no idea who he was either. But then again, look at who you're talking to.
Man.
That's not a shock. So I'm probably not going to be watching any of his stuff. I'll just
Right.
let you update me whenever I need an update on what's going on. But
Yeah, they gonna update me, bro.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I like it when he can help those who deserve to be helped because they put in the work.
right.
But I also like people being held, or businesses, whatever, restaurants, businesses, establishments, being held accountable for not doing work or putting in good work. Because you just can't, people just can't run. You cannot treat people however you feel like it, all on the basis of, well, because we can, because we are who we are. I'll take my money elsewhere.
Exactly.
And y'all will be the same people who want to say I'm doing this or that because
Exactly.
I took my money elsewhere. Well, if you provided the type of ambiance and environment that I was looking for, I wouldn't take my business elsewhere. That's on you. That's not on me. Get out of here with that BS.
100%, bro.
Yeah. Shouts out to Keith Lee, bro.
Yeah, shout out.